Imagine you are on a picnic with your family. Your young child is walking right behind you. You can still hear the sound of his footsteps crunching on the dry leaves. You lean down to pick up a dropped water bottle. Time passes for less than 5 seconds. When you turn around, the child has disappeared. No scream, no sound of a struggle, no footprints left behind. It's as if a giant invisible hand just lifted the child, evaporating them from the ground. You scream in panic, searching, but the only response is the dead silence of the forest. That is not a Hollywood horror movie script. That is the Rook-Ruh reality unfolding every year. Today we will uncover America's darkest records, the terrifying truth behind thousands of unexplained disappearances in national parks, setting the dark side of majestic nature. America possesses a vast and beautiful national park system with over 84 million acres of forests, mountains, and caves. But behind that breathtaking beauty is a massive meat grinder. Throughout many decades, thousands of people have stepped into these forests and never once emerged. The horror doesn't lie in the number of deaths, but in the way they disappear. A former police investigator named David Paulides has spent his life studying this phenomenon and named it the Missing 411 Files. He discovered that these disappearances are not at all random. They follow a set of bizarre and chilling rules that science cannot explain. Strange commonalities that make your skin crawl. Before we dive into a specific case, let's look at the hair-raising common features of the Missing 411 files. First, the victims usually vanish at the exact moment those with them look away. It takes only 3 to 10 seconds. Second, the police's most seasoned search dogs, when brought to the scene, often show signs of panic. They tuck their tails, whine, bark at thin air, or flatly refuse to track the scent, as if facing an entity beyond the natural food chain. Third, weather. Immediately after someone goes missing, a sudden snowstorm or heavy rain will break out. It washes away all tracks and forces the rescue teams to stop in their tracks. Fourth, the most horrific detail. If the body is lucky enough to be found, they are often in illogical locations. A 3-year-old child found dozens of kilometers away on a vertical cliff that even professional climbers would struggle with. And more chillingly, their clothes are often removed and neatly, flatly folded, placed right next to the body. Who or what did that? Core story: the evaporation of Dennis Martin. To understand the horror of this phenomenon, let's revisit the most famous and darkest case in Great Smoky Mountains history, the disappearance of 6-year-old Dennis Martin. It was June 14, 1969. Dennis was camping with his family for Father's Day. In the afternoon, Dennis and 3 other boys planned a prank. The 4 children hid behind bushes, intending to jump out and scare the adults who were sitting less than 15 meters away. The first 3 children jumped out, laughing, but Dennis, the boy in the bright red t-shirt hiding in the opposite bush, never appeared. His father, William, sensing something was wrong, immediately ran to the bush where Dennis was hiding. Only about 3 minutes had passed since they planned the prank. Yet behind the bush was empty. William ran frantically into the forest, screaming his son's name. Responding to him was only the dead silence. The mountains had swallowed Dennis without making a single rustle of a leaf. An unusual search operation and the ghost in the forest. Immediately, the largest search operation in U.S. history at that time was activated. More than 1,400 people, including police, rangers, volunteers, and even helicopters, combed every inch of the land. And just like the curse of Missing 411, only hours later, a terrifying storm suddenly ripped through the sky. It poured down tons of water, washing away any possible traces. The best search dogs were brought in, but strangely they only circled in place, howling in fear and flatly refusing to go deeper into the forest. But what makes this case one of the most terrifying secret files is the testimony of the Key family. On the same afternoon Dennis disappeared, in a forest area several miles away, a place with extremely rugged terrain, the Key family was hiking when they suddenly heard a gut-wrenching scream ringing out. Immediately after, they saw a giant man covered in hair, looking like a disheveled prehistoric human, moving with terrifying speed across the mountainside. Over that creature's shoulder dangled something bright red. Coincidentally, Dennis was wearing a red shirt. When the police received this info, instead of an expanded investigation, an unprecedented event occurred. The Green Berets, the Army's most elite special forces, suddenly appeared. They weren't looking for a missing person. They were armed with heavy weapons, entered the forest and established restricted zones, hindering both local police and volunteers. Were they looking for a 6-year-old boy? Or were they hunting a real beast hiding in the national park? The answer has been sealed forever. Dennis Martin was never found. Hypotheses and the never-ending obsession. To this day, there are countless chilling hypotheses surrounding disappearances like missing 411. Some believe that deep within the ground of these national parks lies a massive cave system, home to tribes of feral humans who have devolved, or mystical creatures like Bigfoot and Wendigo. They camouflage themselves in the dense forest and consider humans to be easy prey. There are also hypotheses leaning towards parallel dimensions. Natural wilderness possesses spatial rifts, invisible portals. If you accidentally take the wrong step, you'll be thrown into another dimension, where you might see your family crying and searching for you. But no matter how hard you scream, they cannot hear you. And in America, there is an extremely famous urban legend: the staircases in the middle of the woods. Veteran rangers whisper to each other that if you are patrolling deep in the forest and suddenly see a staircase made of brick or wood sitting alone, completely intact in the middle of a clearing, absolute rule: do not step on them. Don't touch, don't look for long. Turn your back and never speak of it again. Those who are curious enough to step onto those stairs never come back down. Call to action for interaction. The majesty of nature is sometimes just a facade covering the darkest secrets of the universe. After hearing these chilling files, will your next camping trip still be as peaceful as before? Do you believe that these vanishing disappearances are due to a coincidental accident? Or is there truly an invisible force ruling these ancient forests, considering us humans as prey? Please leave your opinions and hypotheses in the comments section so we can dissect them together. And if you are a fan of true crime, longing to decode the most haunting mysteries, those unexplained supernatural phenomena, then don't hesitate. Press the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Your support is the fuel for this channel to continue lighting up the darkest, most terrifying corners of this world. Thank you for following until the very last minute. Goodbye and see you at the next hair-raising cases.